Hello there, inspired tennos. The new war is upon us tomorrow, and I wanted to give you something extra special because I do believe that I will be occupied covering some of the new content. So here we are. I wanted to get this video out, but it was quite difficult. This might be the most difficult video for me in terms of planning it out. One thing is knowing and understanding something, but then to transfer that onto a spreadsheet so that others can acquire that knowledge with a little bit of explanation, that's really tough. I am very excited about the result, and I think you will be too. Stop the video. I forgot to mention that this spreadsheet will be available to download from the description, and I have to mention, because of YouTube regulations, that this is not being monetized. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Now, I've actually made 3 tools in one. This up here on top is just a basic sort of, these are the individual items that cost and how much I project they will grow each day, which is just the profit and how many days I think it will take for it to reach that profit. And then we have the investment down here. Now, the way that this spreadsheet works is that the yellow squares are the ones which you can change. These are just numbers, they're just variables. However, the blue squares, for the most part, should not be changed as they're actually equations and you could break the entire system by touching it. The green squares are your profit. So this is where you see your potential payout. Let's go ahead and cover this up here first. Let's say that we have just 200 platinum that we want to invest. How should we do this? Right, so if you look here, the growth rate of Loki Prime is significantly greater than something like Ivara Prime. But your profit is still lower. That's because you can buy fewer Loki Prime sets. In fact, you can only buy one, whereas you can buy a lot of Ivara Prime sets. Again, this here is not the selling price. It's the amount you're profiting. So it's the sell price with the initial cost subtracted from it. You can set this to exactly how much you're willing to invest. And then, as you will see, these numbers here change on their own. Now, you might look over here and ask, why is there so many boxes over here? And that's because this growth rate is projected over a less amount of days than, than someone like Ivara. So, by the time that you get your payout on this investment, you could have gotten your payout on this investment 3 times, as this takes place over 3 months, and this takes place over 9 months. So, this number here, it's exactly the same equation. The difference is that the investment that we're using is actually the profit from the previous investment. So each time we have more initial investment, and therefore we're also getting a higher payout. At some point, however, it can be worth to buy the Loki Prime instead, because if you have 1,000,000 platinum, you don't have an upper limit to how many of something you can buy within a given time limit, because your funds are essentially endless. So all that you care about is getting as much platinum on each trade as possible in terms of, growth rate and buy to sell price over time. Now, as I was saying, let's move on to this second tool. Here we have our mastery rank, but this is not our mastery rank. This is just how many trades we are willing to spend a day on buying this investment. The window of opportunity is the amount of days you have where it's possible to make this investment. For Ivara Prime, that's pretty much 3 months, because that's the time between the primed frames rotating in and out. The price of buying one Ivara set is 30, and the profit, so the amount that your account will increase in value, not the sell price, is 70. So if you wanted to just only invest in Ivara Prime while she is available, then that will cost you 83,700 platinum. So a bit of a ridiculous price, of course. So it's almost not even worth considering it when the window of opportunity is this large. But let's pretend that you were mastery rank 19, and you decided, okay, I want to invest in Ivara Prime because he's about to rotate out. I have 15 days to do it. So now all of a sudden we're talking about 8,000 platinum. So the total amount which you can spend on this investment, if you spend all of your trades on it within the total window of opportunity, is 8,550. And your reward for doing so will be, well, basically 20,000. Here we are with our final tool, and this is the one that took a while to make. This is only really relevant for you if you already had a great amount of success as a trader and you have at least a couple of, we're talking 20 to 25,000 platinum to play with. But if you keep investing, eventually you'll get there. I myself am actually approaching this point after just a couple of years, and I was not going hard. I was doing it very casually up until recently. So this here, there's a lot to unpack, but again, the yellow numbers are the ones you can change. So it's the same thing again, right? Price of investment and profit, but you get a lot more information here. So you have your investment, and you have your mastery rank, and you have your window of opportunity. So what this thing does, and the main useful feature it has, is that once you've set the price of investment and the profit for both items, it will tell you how large your investment needs to be before you should use the second investment option instead of the first. Let's go and break down these numbers a little bit more so you can better understand what is going on here. This number here, the 150, this is the possible amount of investments you can make. So this is how many Ivara Prime sets you could buy within the time limit, which is at 150. With 1,000 platinum, which is the amount you're willing to spend, you can buy 53 sets of Ivara Prime. Sorry, 33. So now then here we have possible profit. So this is if you spend the largest amount possible. Then, sorry about that. Then you will be able to get 10,500. With the amount that you can actually afford with your investment, you're going to be able to make 2,330. Now this thing down here, you don't have to look at this at all, but you can if you really want to. If this number here is greater than 1, then you want to use the affordable profit. If this number is smaller than 1, then you want to use the possible profit. And that goes for this down here as well. Same principle. Now, this here tells you how much more or less profitable option 2 is to option 1. Right now, for example, as you can see, this number is greater than 1 for both of these. So we want to use the affordable profit for both of them, right? As you can, you can just look at this and you can see, okay, you're making more on your investment just by using the first option because, well, 2,300 is greater than 1,100, obviously. But if we go down here and we're using the affordable profit for both of them, which is this one, then you'll see that it is only half as efficient to use this option as using this option up here. And the only time where you really want to use this system down here is if it's really close. So if it was 90% as efficient, but the time investment and perhaps the amount of trades you would need to sell it in the other end, which you could instead use on a different investment, right, is significantly higher for the first option, then you might not want to pick that one, even if it is slightly more profitable, because this here only considers bind items and not selling them. And buying the items, as I said in the very first episode, is by far the most important. If you have a lot of platinum and you want to go really sweaty on this, then you might want to use this system. I think the thing probably that's going to be most useful for you down here is this here, this investment limit, which tells you how much you have to invest before this here becomes more profitable. I've included a couple of additional sets of this tool down here, so you can go ahead and make your own comparisons in case you want to have multiple at a time. It's set up so that if you want to have even more, all you need to do is just grab this, copy it, and then paste another one, and then you have another set that you can use. And these still abides by the rules of the previous ones, so they still reference the same numbers and equations. I think that's everything actually. So get hyped for the new war, get out there and make some great investments. And you know, if this was useful to you, maybe Warframe.subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.